all these rejections from the middle Bollinger Band.
Resistance we're going to need.
If you actually see here, we get a
And we'll look for a healthy
I
higher low.
would not
don't have
be
the
convinced
pullback
to enter
to
a long trade.
Just recorded a 13-minute video with the mic unplugged. Let's do it again. Hey crypto friends, Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, MDA, ZRX on the daily time frame. We'll zoom in from there. Got back from the beach just a bit ago and I was body surfing. We got a story time to start it off. And I was noticing the analogies between body surfing and trading. So body surfing is when you're catching a wave just like surfing, but you're riding it on your chest, and it requires standing there waiting for the right wave, and then you launch yourself from the ground and kick a few times, and you pump your arms fast a few times to get yourself actually on the wave, and then you glide and ride it towards the shore. So I'm out there body surfing by myself and certainly love doing it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And some other people started coming up around me and doing it as well. There were maybe 3 or 4 of us out there eventually, and I was just observing other people body surfing as well. And certainly don't want to sound egotistical about my body surfing, but I've been doing it 25 years at this point, and I've got a really good feel for waves and when they break. So if you're trying to catch a wave, you obviously want it to be a good wave. You don't want it to break too early. You don't want it to be a weak break. Those are ways that you can expend energy, trying to catch those waves and them not resulting in a good ride. So I was watching other people going after too many waves. It was clear to see, this wave's breaking too early. It's not going to be a good one, but they'd try and catch it anyways. So that does a number of things. It expends your energy and it makes you miss the good waves that are coming after it. So waves come in sets where there'll be about 3 or 4 good waves in a row, and then it'll be small waves for a while, and then those same 3 or 4 good waves come back eventually. That's just the way the oceans and the tides work. So if you are over trading, if you are over aggressive trying to catch these waves, you're using up your energy, you're using up your capital, and you are missing out on the clear setups that are to come. So I'm patiently waiting there, passing up all these waves that other people are trying to catch and waiting for that set to come. And that set, whether it's a blue sky breakout or a very clear setup for fundamental reasons or a sell the news reaction, whatever the reason is that we have that clear setup, that's what I'm patiently waiting for. And I'm not expending my capital and my energy and my effort over trading or over trying to catch these waves. Rather, just wait for the good ones to come to you. So I was blowing my mind out there in the water as all these trading analogies were hitting me as I'm having the time of my life riding these waves. And it's the best waves that I've had since Costa Rica Pavones, which I don't think I'll ever top for the rest of my life. Anyways, on to the charts. So Bitcoin, daily inside bar yesterday, another daily inside bar today. We're patiently waiting. It's sideways trading. There's not a lot going on. The key support is 63.75. The key resistance is 64.93. So we're going to look for a break of today's inside bar tomorrow if we don't get a break today, and it does not look likely that we are going to get a break today, so we will patiently wait for tomorrow. So if we zoom in on the 4-hour time frame, we are still holding exponential moving average supports at this point. That's something to be keeping an eye on. Pretty much we're going to either run out of time and space here, so we're either going to break the exponential supports bearish, or we are going to see a bull break of these price levels. So that's where we stand on Bitcoin. Something that stood out yesterday that our members were pointing out was a bot battle on Coinbase Pro. And you will not often see a spike of volume on Coinbase and not see it on other exchanges, but that's exactly what happened yesterday. Look at the hourly volume we saw here on Bitcoin, and look at it compared to the last couple dozen hours in both directions on previously and since then. So if we look on the 5-minute time frame, I should say, you can see some wild action going on. And we can tell it's bots by watching the market orders of one Bitcoin repeatedly, selling and buying at the same time, watching that order book. And we can also tell by the alert system telling us, there's bot activity going on. And we can also tell by zooming in on the 5-minute time frame and seeing this wild spike. Look at this gap of 10 minutes where it's very clear that the bots were either turned off or did not have the criteria to continue their action. And it was just 10 minutes of nothing. And I made the joke that the bots were going to take a pee break. But whenever you see a volume sandwich here, this is not normal trading. You will never see this without it being bots, because there is not just, you're never going to see just humans stop trading for 10 minutes and then resume significant trading right after. So in the end, it didn't do a whole lot to the price action, but it's worth noting, it's worth keeping an eye on, because there are times where it's, significant in terms of either someone loading up shorts, or I believe that's the last time we saw it. Significant bot action was allowing for significant shorts to be opened before we did see a dump. So I don't think that's the case here. Don't think there's significant information to gather from it, but it is important to be able to recognize. And otherwise, you might look at that volume and think something's going on, when in reality, it's wash trading and the bots are just trading back and forth with each other, and it's not doing a whole lot for the price action. XRP already has a daily inside bar bull break, so it's much more bullish. Shouldn't say much more. It is more bullish than Bitcoin on the 4-hour setup. Exponential support easily holding. We have clear higher lows that are intact. The most recent is 4799, and the one after that is down at 447. Resistance 497, and then up to 50 cents. So 4-hour inside bar to be watching, riding these exponential supports up, and more bullish than Bitcoin because it broke its daily inside bar bullish. Ethereum is weaker than Bitcoin. It broke its inside bar bearish on the daily time frame. The 4-hour chart is close to losing these exponential moving averages. We have clear resistance levels at 224.67, another lower high here at 219.43, another one at 217.07, and now we have inside bars on the 4-hour time frame to be watching, similar to XRP, but we're in a much different spot. We're coming off lower highs and we're forming 4-hour inside bars, and XRP is coming off higher lows and forming a 4-hour, there it is, forming a 4-hour inside bar. So completely different standpoints. If I had to rank them, it would be XRP is the strongest on the 4-hour, Bitcoin is in the middle, and ETH is the weakest. So what we're watching for ETH is, can these bulls break the 4-hour downtrend? Pretty much the way this stands is if Bitcoin gets the bear break of the daily inside bar into tomorrow, Ethereum bears are going to benefit. And if it gets a bull break, the Ripple bulls are going to benefit. So that's the standpoint, watching the correlations and noting that there are clear differences in the correlations and knowing who's going to benefit from which direction that Bitcoin does break. So I personally would rather take XRP bullish on a bull break than I would ETH. And that's just being able to distinguish the setups and know which name would be better off in order to take for a certain trade setup. MDA BTC, so we're looking for the daily higher low to form. It's bouncing right off the 12-period exponential support on the daily, and the trend change on the hourly chart is the indication that the daily higher low has been established. So we traded sideways, and we actually got a 15-minute signal first. We had a nice equilibrium, and a bull break occurred when 2467 broke. That was the first signal. If you wanted to be more patient, you're waiting for the hourly trend change, and I would call it here at 261. And the reason for that is we bounced. It's at just a lower high compared to previous resistances. We pulled back, consolidated, and formed that higher low at 24, I should say, and then saw continuation. And now we've seen it even again. Inside bar bull break on the hourly time frame and another leg up. So at this point, we've seen a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and that's enough to give us a very solid bullish reversal candlestick on the daily. And now we're going to be watching for a daily equilibrium to form because the size of the pullback from the high is significant. So even if we get a significant bounce, we're still looking for a lower high to form and a tightening daily range into this weekend. So as long as the bulls can keep the hourly uptrend in their favor, we'll still be watching for that daily lower high to be set. And once we lose the hourly uptrend, then we'll say the daily lower high has likely been set at that point. ZRX USD, we actually got a pump for listing on Coinbase. And this is a good example of how to interpret a news reaction. So when it's a known event, the price action preceding the known event is the most important factor. So a lot of people have been asking me about Canadian MJ. Is it going to be a sell the news event the first day of sales, which is today? Congrats, Canada. And my answer is, I need to see what the week of action leading up into it is. If we run and we're extremely overextended, absolutely it's a sell the news event because it's a known event. If we see consolidation into the event, we're not going to expect to sell the news event because it's just a completely different psychological standpoint that the market is heading into the event with, and people that wanted to take profit have likely already done so as we've been pulling back for a couple of days. And that's what happened here on ZRX. So we had an initial pump when we found out we were listing on Coinbase, and then we consolidated for multiple days. And we did see a little bit of bullish action before the actual listing, but when Coinbase put out a tweet that, hey, we're about to be live, the action really started picking up. And look at this hourly time frame. We had a tightening range and a clear bull break, and then from there, it was just huge continuation on big bull volume. But the most important factor for me, again, the market finds out about the event. We get the pump. We consolidate for day after day after day. Those that want to sell have sold. We reestablish RSI levels. we cool everything off, and then the bulls see continuation. So this was a great follow-through move on the actual listing of Coinbase, and that's a bit of a rarity in terms of what we've seen in the past, and it's not what we would expect. But again, the most important factor is the 3 days preceding this bull move and the fact that it really reset everything, and that was notable. So Nuggets News Australia was definitely very confident in ZRX that it was going to be listed on Coinbase. He's got another half dozen names or so that they feel are going to be next, and Golem's one of them, and there's a couple others out there. So it's worth keeping an eye on, but now we know to be watching very close. What does the price action do when it's announced it's going on Coinbase? And most importantly, what does the price action do preceding right before when we get listed? And if it's a pullback and we see a sell the news event before we even get listed, then we don't see the dumping scenario once we actually do get listed. So worth paying attention to that into the future. Congrats to the bulls, and we're now watching a 4-hour equilibrium. We have our high, low of consolidation. This is not a significant bull move. It might be our lower high yet. We're not confident. Haven't pulled back enough to be confident that is our lower high. $1 is resistance. 1086 after that, and key support is 956. If we break 956 and see a little 4-hour lower high and lower low, that tells us that healthy daily consolidation is ongoing. Anything above 70 cents is a daily high or low. So the bulls have a lot of space to work with, and they are just fine overall keeping control at this point. So that's where we stand on take 2 into tomorrow. I appreciate you all watching. I hope you continue to do good things. Just to wrap it up, we got Bitcoin daily inside bar to be watching. Ripple 4-hour uptrend, strongest of the 3 here. ETH lost the 4-hour higher lows, weakest of the 3. Watching both of them in response to how Bitcoin's going to break its daily inside bar. MDA daily higher low looks established, hourly chart with a nice trend change, and ZRX 4-hour equilibrium, but it is favoring the bears at this point as that bounce did not get much follow through, and that lower high is a fairly weak one. It was only a 5-cent bounce out of the 13-cent range of consolidation or so. So it got less than halfway, so that means the bears have a slight edge. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Do good things.